All right, bet.
All right, guys. Joe McDonough here for CageSidePress.com. I'm joined by the action man himself, Chris Curtis. Chris, how's it going? Coming off a big win this weekend. Just talk to me about the feelings, the emotions that come with that.
I'm good, man. I'm tired still. Really tired still. A lot of traveling, getting back to Vegas, and then a lot of running around yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, my eye is still hideous. Like, oh my God.
Hey, looks great, Chris. Looks great. Looks great for the camera.
That was a good time, man. It's just Kenny Robertson was like, old shoe tough. Like he's just old. Yeah, he's a tough guy. But just glad to keep it rolling on to the next one.
And I think that's something that, as fans and media members and all this stuff that we forget, at least the media members, somewhat know because, they cover and they leave the next day, whatever. But the travel after being in a fight, going back home, the flights, waking up early, all that travel. I mean, how much does it suck?
Oh man. So like we get back there and like our flights like at like 5 a.m. So like no one's sleeping. Everybody's just in the freaking lobby, like drinking and hanging out. Then you got a 5 a.m. flight. You like on a flight for like 4 hours, take a connecting flight, another 2-hour flight, get back home. Then you're freaking wired. You still got to go see people. People want to see you. It's exhausting, man. Like the weekend, the 2 days after a fight just suck. Like, oh man.
Yeah. And to add in the fact that you're probably hungover after a win, drinking in the lobby with teammates and other fighters and stuff like that.
Dude, it's not even that's like that's not even the bad part. Like I don't think I've ever really been hungover. The issue is that right after you're done fighting, people don't realize like you very rarely hurt in the fight. Yeah. But like 2 hours after you fight, you feel everything. Yeah. And you will feel everything for the next 2 days. So you're just like it's like 5 a.m. You're on a plane. Everything hurts. Like my hands were swollen. My side of my face is swollen. Like, your legs are on fire. Oh, it's miserable.
Much better to be coming home with a win than with all of that. I'm sure.
Yeah, man. The only thing worse is being on a plane with a loss. Like now you're like hurting and like, fuck, man, what went wrong?
Well, hey, that was number 5 in a row for you. So I mean, this win thing is working out for you, Chris. I mean, talk to me, a 5th in a row.
Yeah, I wanted my 5th stoppage, but like I said, man, I hit that guy with everything and everything I could possibly throw at him. At one point, I did like a double flying knee like the goddamn crow. I was like in the air, like, and he just wouldn't go down. He kind of looked at me. I was like, all right, that's fine. But it's nice to stay busy, and that's 5 so far, 4 this year. So it's nice being busy, being active, making a little bit of money.
And that's what I was just going to ask you about is, when you said being busy, I mean, that's 4-0, your 4th of 2021. I mean, you've taken advantage of the fact that, 2020 was essentially closed for everyone. I think you were only in there once 2020 and at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So here we are 4, and I'm sure that you're already thinking about number 5 soon.
I told my management I wanted to hit 10 fights this year, so we've already got a couple in the pipeline. Just waiting on confirmations. I'm really trying to hit 10 fights this year.
Jesus, and 10 fights would be something insane. I mean, that's a pretty hefty goal.
I gotta do something, man. Like I lost an entire year last year, so I got to make up. So I figure maybe would have fought 3 or 4 times last year, so I'll add that on there. I just want to stay busy and we figure if I beat everyone, then like maybe the UFC will finally take notice.
And that's what I was going to say is that not only is 4-0 going 4-0 impressive. I mean, the possibility of going 10-0 or 8-0 or whatever you get to is super impressive. I mean, the UFC can't ignore that as they've seemingly ignored for the past.
They definitely can't ignore that because I have the greatest laundry list of things that I've done. Like one on Contenders, the highlight reel knockout. Yep. I was on like a 10-fight win streak before like a 11-fight win streak before PFL. Freaking I'm still ranked as a number right now on Tapology. I'm the number 1 guy.
I saw your tweet. Go ahead.
Relax. Like now we set out to just break the algorithm for shits and giggles. But like, so 170, 185, 205 and pound for pound, I'm the number 1 guy in the US.
Which is insane.
We set out to break, like we literally made a point to like, we're going to break the algorithm for shits and giggles. So like, yeah, but I mean, I've done like everything under the sun, man. So like, I don't know what it's going to take, but this is all I know how to do is fight. So I'll just keep fighting.
Absolutely, and the fans love it. I love it. Watching it back in the CES days, I loved it, and now as you've continued your career, is there because it kind of is a weird situation where, like you said, the UFC can ignore it, and you kind of answered it with the fact that you do want 10 fights, but is there kind of a time when you're kind of like, okay, let's wait and see if anything comes from the UFC? Let's wait a couple weeks, or is it like, let's get right back in there? Whatever regional promotions doing a fight in 3 weeks, I'm there.
I wasted an entire year waiting for the UFC to like maybe call. Like when they were doing Fight Hour and everything else, you're hoping for a short notice fight, waiting. And I burned an entire year like not getting anything. So now it's just easier for me to stay in the gym, stay in shape, and stay ready as opposed to like sitting around waiting maybe.
Yeah.
I like to train hard, so it's like, you know what? I might as well get paid for all the effort I'm putting in.
Very true. Very true. And for you, is it in a way, this year, UFC or bust? I mean, we just saw Bellator put on, an insane show. We've seen you in PFL. Would Bellator or One or Ryzen or any of those promotions, be good enough for you? Or is it kind of like you want to prove that point to get into the UFC?
It's not really such an issue of good enough, man. It's just like for me, I'm 30. I just turned 34 a few weeks ago. Like, I am self-aware enough to realize that, I'm reaching like the apex of my career. And it's, now at this point, it's going to be the wind down. So, I've got like maybe another year or two of being like in my prime before I start winding down. And I set out for this 13 years ago when I first started like doing MMA with a goal to get in the UFC, man. Like that was the goal and the dream I sold my son's mom to. Later on, I sold my fiance on that same dream. Mm-hmm. And I've had a lot of people in my life support me on that dream, on that goal. That's the one I sold. So for me, knowing that I'm at the, I'm towards the back end, I've got a few more years left. I don't want to walk away without having, repaid everyone for the effort and sacrifice they put in for me to reach that goal. So I am going to, do everything within my power to see myself on that stage and to succeed on that stage, because that's the goal that I sold everybody on. And so many people propped me up and carried me and supported me to get there. So like, I can't,
yep.
I can't justify walking away before, repaying that to everybody that helped me.
And a lot of people, including myself, think you should have been there a long time ago, and I'm sure you think so as well. So I mean, like you said, 10-5 stuck on this 10 fights. I mean, I'm rooting for it. I mean, I want to see it. I want to see you go 10-0 this year. Can you give us a sneak peek on what's next? I mean, I know you said you have a couple things in the balance. I mean, anything that's certain yet?
No, I'm hoping to get something maybe in Utah in the end of August, towards the end of August. And then I've got a fight night up in Canada, hopefully in October. So those are the two most immediate ones right now. I don't really call people out anymore because no one gives me the fight anyway. Like there's guys I wanted to go fight the CFFC champion and they won't ever allow that to happen. I wanted to fight the LFA champion. They won't ever allow that to happen. So I can't really call guys out because promotions are like, no.
Yeah,
so now, we're just hunting what's out there. The hardest part is getting someone to say yes.
And I was going to say is, as I've talked to, I just had a chat with Cody Gibson, and Zach Otto as well. How hard is it to get those regional fights? Because regional fighters may say some may say, oh, the chance to beat Chris Curtis and put that on my resume, awesome. But a lot may say, I'm not fighting him. I'm fighting, someone else that I can get a win over.
There are very few people that say yes to that fight. Like there's the LFA champions, like the 85 and 70 champions were like, no, LFA will not put me on their show. It's like under any circumstance. Same thing with CFFC. I was like, oh, I'll fight like 3 of their champions. They're like, no, it's never happening. So it's really hard to get on. So especially even bigger, especially Fight Pass shows,
yep.
Because they're trying to grow their talent. And they don't want their guy, get their guy in their building to get his head caved in. So they're just like, no, under no circumstance. So it's very hard to actually get people to say yes to fights, which is why I was grateful. You got stuff like fierce fighting in Utah has been really cool to me. XMMA has been really cool to me. Fight Night in Canada has been really cool to me. They go out of their way to, get me good matchups and get guys that want to fight and stuff like that. But on the regional level, man, there's so many. I always laugh when I see interviews. Like, remember Sean Brady was the CFFC champion? They used to be like, who wants to fight Sean Brady? No one will say yes. And I comment, like, send me the contract. And they delete my comment. Like, CFFC would delete my comment. Like, yeah, it's been stuff like that for years. So it sucks being one of the best guys around, but not getting the chance to prove it.
Yeah. Yep, 100%, man. Well, Chris, that's all I've got for you, man. Congratulations on the win. I hope to talk to you as we watched, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0 until we get to that 10th fight. Chris, thank you for the time, man.
No problem at all, man. Thanks for having me. Take care.